Hey guys, today we've got a first gen BRZ in. This is going to be a track build for the customer. They are swapping out the existing Raceland coilovers for an upgrade to the Fortunato 510 coilovers. These drip quality, of course they have the adjustable camber plates up top. They're ride height adjustable as well. Come with the front sway bar end links. You get some socks for your springs to keep corrosion out and anything that gets in. You also get a certificate of assembly from Fortunato with these. They get a quality inspection, final quality inspection. They let you know the spring rates. They also do shock dynos for each of these. So these are really high quality coilovers. Looking forward to getting these installed. They do have the radial bearing mounts, the locking spring perches. So these are gonna be what I would consider a custom built coilover for the BRZ chassis. This customer, like I said, is going to be tracking the car. It's already got some nice wheels and tires on it and an exhaust. We're going to tune it as well. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to get these on, show you exactly how to install them. All right, we're going to start by disconnecting the end link from the sway bar on each side with a 19mm wrench. Can't get a socket in there. Do it the hard way. All right, so the first step here is to disconnect the sway bar end link from the sway bar. But I want to point out here, what we see here is a non-adjustable, it might be OEM, not sure, long end link. And so this car being lowered on these existing coilovers is already starting to cause some contact here on the lower control arm in front. This is a common mistake when you're putting coilovers on the car. You don't address the end links. You can get aftermarket adjustable end links. Fortunato does include adjustable end links that are shorter. And so when you have shorter end links, you're going to remove that preload from the sway bar. You're going to avoid all this contact here with the lower control arm. So just wanted to point that out as we're disassembling these existing coilovers. A common mistake, it's going to cause noises, grinding, bad things. So make sure when you're lowering your car significantly on coilovers, lowering springs, you might be able to get away with it. But when you're dropping the car a lot, you're going to want this adjustability in the end links. You want to play ball? All right, put that right there. All right, next we're going to take off the 12mm bolt holding on the bracket for the brake lines. And then we're going to remove the clips on the back side, securing each of these spots for the ABS sensor. All right, next I'm going to take a 19mm socket on the impact and a 19mm on the back side of this bolt to remove the two mounting nuts and bolts for the struts. At this point, you've got the strut separated from the knuckle here, and you're ready to bring the car down and loosen and remove the three strut mounting bolts up top. All right, so now that these coilovers are ready to come out, we've got the mounting bolts loosened and the hub assembly kind of resting here. With regards to end links, if you are reusing your factory end links on your coilovers, you can go ahead and remove this top nut and take the end link off and swap it over to your new coilovers. In this case, we are getting new end links with our Fortunatos, so we're just going to leave these on and bring the whole assembly down as one. Good. Not bad. All right, so now I'm ready to remove. Okay, now we've got 13 mil bolts for each of the strut mounting points that we're going to remove. Be very gentle with these. They do not require a whole lot of torque. All right, and be ready to catch this as you remove all 3 of these because it will be dangling. So just get your other hand. Ready? All right, that is one Raceland, very well used coilover out. And we're ready to put the new Fortunatos in. All right, so one more look at these Fortunato 510s. They got a threaded strut body. They've got adjusters here that tell you exactly which hex key you need for each of the spring collars that lock together. So that makes your ride height adjustability really easy. And of course the camber plates up top to dial in that alignment to get all the camber that you need for track use and street use. But yeah, these just drip quality, and just want to get another shot of them because they're real pretty. All right, these are ready to go in. And we're just going to loosely install the nuts, torque them down later to spec. All right, now we're ready to go underneath and start reassembling this. All right, now that we have our new coilover snugged up top, we're going to put the sway bar end link back on. We're going to put the new Fortunato adjustable end link on. All right, you can already see that due to the shorter end link, once this ride height is adjusted and all the camber settings are correct, we're no longer going to have any of that contact with the lower control arm. So this is already a more ideal setup. There we go. They're supporting evanescence?
Yeah.
All right, so now that the coilovers are loosely hung from up top, we've got our 2 strut mounting bolts. The lower one is the one with the thin shank. The upper one is with the thick shank. Note that these Fortunato coilovers do have slotted upper mounts. Give you a little bit of play here and adjustability with the camber. If you want even more adjustability, you can get a second narrow shank bolt for the lower and put that up top, and then you'll have slightly more adjustability. But of course, these coilovers include camber plates, so we're not necessarily going to need that much adjustability. So we're going to install these upper strut mount bolts with the stock fat shank bolt. All right, now we're going to reinstall the 12 mil bolt for the brake line on the bracket on the new Fortunato coilover. And don't forget to reconnect, and don't forget to reinsert the 2 wiring clips for your ABS sensors. I don't want to do it out of order, but it doesn't matter. All right, so now I'm going to take my 19 mil socket with a torque wrench set to 107 foot-pounds to tighten down these 2 bolts. That rust bites. Okay, now we're moving on to the rear of this car to get the old coilovers off. We're going to start with the 14mm bolts securing the sway bar end links in the back, and these are 17mm bolts for these two. That's the wrong tool to be whacking that with. All right, now that we got the lower bolts removed, we're going to take the rear coilover mount bolts out. These are 15mm nuts. We're going to take each of these off with a hand wrench and then drop the coilover down carefully. All right, now at this point, we're ready to drop the rear coilover, but it is suspended by those loose nuts on the studs. So if you have long arms, you can go in there and remove them and catch the coilover with the other hand, but in this case, we're gonna use a helper, Dave.
Oh, me?
Okay, so this one, seen better days. Got some damage to the boots over the shock body here, but what's going in, it's going to be much nicer. Oh, there we go. The other one's later. Okay. Nice. All right, so now we're ready to secure the 15mm nuts to the rear coilover studs on the new Fortunatos. So we're just gonna ratchet those down real quick. All right, now that we got this side completed, the steps are the same for the other side. So now that the coilovers are installed, there's a couple more things we're going to do before we put it on the alignment rack. Namely, we're going to use these two different spanner wrenches that are supplied by Fortunato. The first of which is used to adjust this upper spring perch, and the lower spring perch is where the other spanner wrench will be used. They're clearly labeled 5mm hex key to unlock this one and 4mm hex key to unlock this one. And once your ride height is set, you can either count the threads on each coilover, or you can do like a fender to center wheel hub measurement. However you like to do it, this is how we're going to set it now prior to going on the alignment rack, just to make sure we're within the ballpark range, front and rear on ride height. Once the car is aligned, these coilover spring socks can very easily be installed. They're just Velcro. Wrap around the springs to cover them up if you ever drive in the winter where there's a lot of road salt or grime, or you just want to make sure that your springs remain pristine for the entirety of your ownership of this car and these coilovers. These are a nice addition, thanks to Fortunato including these to install over your coilovers to keep them looking good and durable for the remainder of the life. All right, so that's a wrap on this Gen 1 BRZ Fortunato coilover install. Now we're going to bring it to our alignment rack. We're going to double check the ride height, dial in the camber here, and get this thing ready for the track. So thanks guys for watching. Let us know what you'd like to see next in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.